6:23 with the Big Ticket Morning Show on V103, the ATL's number one for hip hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Happy Wednesday, February 1st. It is time for another installment of Shamea's Surrogacy Journey.
That is correct. Hey, best friends. I'm super, super excited. As you know, Friday makes 34 weeks.
34.
Right? So it means that baby Shiloh is about the size of a cauliflower blossom. But of course, she's way cuter than that, I'm sure.
How big a cauliflower? Go ahead.
Yes. You know, she got the slippery coat on her skin, still thick, but it's starting to fall off now. The thing is, we're so close to her arrival. We're like, 1 month or so away, a month and some change away. So many questions. And today I have brought in the amazing Lynn Goldman. Lynn is a phenomenal attorney. Just tell everybody your resume.
My resume. So I'm a fertility and adoption attorney. And so my job is to help people build families, which is such an honor. And I'm so excited that I get to do that and get to work with Shamea.
That's right. So my husband and I had to sit down and talk with Lynn prior to even entering into a contract with Shadina because she had to actually go through the contract to make sure that we were protected, and Shadina was as well. Shadina had her own attorney, and of course Lynn was our attorney. Lynn was referred to me by Candy because of course, I always say, Candy went through this same journey. Right. So I was comfortable immediately. I pretty much used to go in her office and say, everything you put in her contract, put it in mine. I want the same thing. And she was like, I can't really talk to you about what's in her contract. So I would call and be like, Candy girl, what happened? What'd you say? And what'd you check on this box? And is this okay? But no, that's very important. People don't understand, though, before you even get your surrogate going, you have to have paperwork. And some of that paperwork, things that are spelled out in that are birth certificate, during the pregnancy, if things happen, then what does that mean for us? What does that mean for her? I mean, you can elaborate a little bit more, Lynn, but
yeah, and it also details everything that your surrogate is going to be compensated, all the expenses that are going to be paid on her behalf. But the main point of the contract is to spell out the intent that Shamea is going to be the parent and not the surrogate.
Okay. Seems like there could be a lot of loopholes without this agreement.
There can be, and our contracts are typically anywhere from 30 to 45 pages.
Wow.
So it's pretty
exactly.
long.
And I skimmed right through that. And it's like, just tell me where to sign. Because when you have an attorney that you really trust, you can do that. And she is one of the best in the game. She definitely makes sure, like we were speaking this week because we have a court case on Friday to get the birth certificate. Birth certificate is something that they send over prior to you arriving so that there are no problems. Like with COVID, a lot of people had the issues of being a part of their child's delivery because you could only have one person in the room or one, support person. And in our case, we already got 3. We got the carrier, the surrogate, me, the mother, the intended parent, and my husband, another intended parent. So it's like, wait a second, let's make sure that all parties can be, and of course she would want her support person there because she's like, I don't know y'all like that. I'm just
party in the delivery room.
Yes, exactly. Which is why Northside, if you're listening, we need that largest room, please, and thank you.
And Northside is actually great about providing rooms not only to the surrogate but also to the intended parents so that they can have their own room to bond with your child.
Right, exactly. And what that birth certificate does is it lets the doctors and the nurses and everybody there know who the intended parents are, the mother of the child, versus who the surrogate is. I know a lot of people were asking me, of course, and I told them before, but if you're listening and you want to know, is my name going to be on the birth certificate? Absolutely. It'll be myself, my husband, and my child. The surrogate will not be on my birth certificate. Now, will she get a birth certificate saying that she actually gave birth to a child?
She will not. Because a birth certificate is evidence of live birth. And it has both of the parents on there, and that's why we go to court ahead of time to make sure that your names will be on the birth certificate and your surrogates will not be.
So if she takes off from her job for, I guess, FMLA maternity leave, how does that work if she can't prove that she had a child?
Because she can provide medical records to her job if she needs to show that she gave birth, that she was in the hospital.
Gotcha. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Can I be on a baby birth certificate with you?
Absolutely not. I know you only want to be on there because for tax purposes. So, no, thank you.
I have a question,
Sure.
attorney. How you doing today? You beautiful.
Great. How are you?
Welcome to V103.
Thank
I'm
you
sorry,
for
my
having
eyes
me.
don't look right, but it's okay. Do the surrogate get to claim the baby on the taxes? That's what I want to know.
She does not. She does
No,
not.
Pat-
No, the intended
Wow.
parents are the legal parents, so
you.
they have all responsibility and all the joy of parenting. So
That's amazing.
I'm not interested then.
So a lot of people were asking if it comes down to, for whatever reason, you choosing the life of the surrogate or the baby in delivery. I mean,
For health reasons. you
yeah,
said.
for health
Okay.
reasons, right? If something, whatever, God forbids, happens, who do you choose? Like, and who makes that decision?
sure. So there's actually a law that says if a woman that is pregnant is on life support, they will keep her on life support or needs life support. They will put her on life support or keep her on life support until they can deliver the child. So it's actually law.
Oh, wow.
Is who?
It's actually
it's a law.
part of our law in Georgia that if somebody needs life support or they're on life support, they'll be kept on that life support if there's a viable pregnancy until that baby can be born.
Absolutely. I know if you're like me and you have a ton of questions, please feel free to call us up 741-WVEE with your questions. Like I said, she does, surrogacy as well as adoption. So if you have a question, call us up 741-WVEE. But more about my surrogacy journey right here on the People Station V103.
V103 welcomes
846 with the Big Ticket Morning Show on V103, the ATL's number one for hip-hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Wednesday, February 1st, 55 degrees. We're going to one more whole degree all day. 56.
Yes.
That's all we're going to get.
That's it. It's all
That's
good.
all we got.
We'll take what we can get.
Hey, we getting it. We getting it. We in the midst of Shamea's surrogacy journey.
That's right. We have Lynn Goldman, my attorney here, who's been so phenomenal with helping me navigate everything in this process. And we've got some calls from you guys at 741-WVE. Good morning, Dr. Scott.
Good morning. First of all, congratulations to you and everybody involved as well again. And my question to you is, for the doctor's lawyer, is even after all of the paperwork, are there cases where it still goes left after the child is born, or is it just everybody knows that everything is fine and it's just a smooth process?
Typically, it's a smooth process. The other thing that we do is before the child is born, usually in the second trimester, we start the process to get legal parentage declared by the court. Usually, the whole process takes a couple months, so it ends up being at the beginning of the third trimester that we're able to get into court and get a court order declaring the intended parents, like Shamea, as legal parents.
Gotcha.
And these laws are put in place because what were they saying back in New York or somewhere? A child was, I guess this is before the whole IVF thing or whatever, and they had to fight to get their child. And
They did.
So all of these laws are here to protect us and the children from this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and actually, New York, had for a while where they could not do surrogacy in New York, but laws have changed a couple years ago, and New York has some great laws on surrogacy.
Do you feel like the laws are getting more strict with, I guess, adoption even? Like, because people always complain about how hard it is to adopt. They say, oh, I want a child and I would love to go the adoption route, but it's just so hard.
Yeah. So the laws have not changed. What makes it more difficult is that it's difficult to find a child to adopt because more families are caring for their kin. And also more people are that would have placed a child for adoption, they're having support systems help them so they can parent.
I know a lot of people that don't need their kids.
Send them my way. I have a lot of clients that need kids.
I know a lot of them. I'm just saying, I'm from down the street, doctor.
Sure, well, send them my way. I have a plethora of clients that need babies, for sure.
What's the oldest that you ever helped someone adopt? The oldest child?
Well, actually, in Georgia, we can do adult adoptions.
Oh.
So sometimes I have adults that are being adopted.
Is it special needs adults or just lazy adults or just adults?
Well, hopefully not lazy adults, but yes, adults. And a lot of times it's because the person that's adopting has really been a relative, a parent of that child, and they just want to make it clear for their inheritance purposes.
Oh, okay. Well, I ain't got to worry about them kind of people then. you said the right word, inheritance.
Yeah.
Because my relative was going to call up here and ask me to adopt them. But I'm not leaving y'all nothing. Keep it moving.
Well, damn.
I didn't know you can adopt an adult.
Oh my goodness, Pat, you're a mess.
You want to be adopted?
It just sounded like it.
By Shamea, not you. You know anybody need a big old black woman doctor?
No, thank you. And that is why
the
I'm
lawyer
so
done got a
happy
joke
that
here.
Georgia has no laws about this, which is why we can create our. But there are other states that have really strict laws about surrogacy.
Right. So Georgia, we do not have laws on our books about surrogacy, but we're actually able to get parentage orders based on what is called a declaratory judgment, which we'll be doing on Friday for you.
Yeah, so Friday, they're working out all the paperwork so that Northside or whatever, the hospitals have everything I need prior to delivery. So when I walk up and then they're not looking at me like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm only the mom in here. I'm like, I'm the mama. I'm like, y'all gotta go. I don't have time for all that. So that'll clear all that up.
Jared got to say, and I'm the pappy.
Yep, and his name will be right there on that birth certificate and on that order. I gotta ask you, what is one of the hardest things that you've dealt with being an attorney for surrogacy and adoption?
Sure. So a lot of times when I go to dinner parties, people say to me, does a surrogate ever change her mind? And I'm like, nope, that does not happen. That is a Lifetime movie. That does not happen.
Okay.
But I would say the hardest thing is we had a surrogate that was pregnant with twins, and the doctor discovered that one of the babies had spina bifida, and they couldn't detect how severe it was, and so it was a question of, do they move forward with the pregnancy? Is there a selective reduction? And that probably was the most heartbreaking, difficult experience in 9 years of doing this.
See, that's another thing. Like, you have to put things in there like that. Like, is your surrogate opposed to abortion? Are they for it? Like, because if something like that happens, or if you find out your baby has too many chromosomes or not enough, or it could be Down syndrome or any of those things, will you terminate the pregnancy?
Right.
And you have some people that are like, no, I'm so against it. Regardless of whether or not the test comes back and it's this, that, and the third, we're having this baby. And then you lose the right to decide,
Oh, wow.
So if she keep her and you ask her to, say if something like that happened, doctor, and the parents are like, no, I don't want this baby with spinal, whatever you just said. And the lady keeper is her baby, right?
It is the intended parent's baby.
No, it's still the intended parent baby.
It's your baby?
It is my baby because that's my embryo.
That ain't what you bought.
Yeah, well, that's what it grew into.
Oh my God!
I know.
Just like if Shamea was carrying her child, and if the child developed an issue, then it's her child. Same thing if a surrogate is carrying her child. Whatever that child is her child.
Can you say
my child? So that is why I put in my contract that, hey, if there are severe deformalities with the child, I need you to be okay with,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to also make sure that the contract not just expresses the interests of the intended parent, but also we have to make sure that it complies with the laws of the state that the surrogate is giving birth in. So whatever the abortion laws are in those states have to be complied with.
There's so much to think about. I mean, even to the point where, like, if something were happening with Shadina, because everybody knows that when you are giving birth, it's like really high risk.
Yes.
So you actually have to have life insurance as well, so that if God forbid she died giving birth to your child, you have to take care of her family.
Right.
what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and set up because I keep sounding stupid, dog. I'm gonna go and be quiet over here. It's so much I want to say, but we on public radio.
and you know what?
And I thank you.
Before she starts talking any more crap, I'm just gonna go ahead and thank Lynn Goldman for coming in. Please let everybody know how they can follow you and get more information about you. If they have more questions, they want to come in for consultation with you, please let them know how to follow you.
Sure. So again, I'm Lynn Goldman. Our law firm is Claiborne Fox Bradley Goldman, and you can reach us at 404-442-6969. And you can also check us out at ClaiborneFoxBradleyGoldman.com.
And she's not a criminal lawyer.
I'm not.
No, so please don't call up there saying my cousin Junebug in jail. 'Cause they
Why you gotta
say
say
he
June?
robbed somebody, but he
My uncle not killed.
Oh, my family.
my
That's
friend
my family.
Ashley beat somebody up.
They name it my family.
All right. No, thank you guys so much for continuing on this journey with me. Your love, your support means so much. You have no idea. We have big news on next week that we really got to tell you and update you on. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you are right here with the People Station V103.